This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you so know it, and so do I. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, we are broadcasting from here, where I am located right now. Or maybe I should do it this way. Today's Wednesday, whip them out Wednesday just in case. November the 19th of 2025, day 323rd of the year, and only 42 days left to go. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM. And then we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues, well, over there.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Okay, so that's where it's going on. Yeah, we're crossing across the multiverse and then hanging out with our friends at Radio Big. So how have you been? How's the last 24 hours or so been for you? Hopefully a lot of good times, a lot of interactions. So I have to tell you, if you have not taken a gander, yesterday we dropped a new pod for Safety FM with Jay Allen, where we had a brief discussion with Dr. Todd Conklin about his new book. So if you have not taken a gander over there, you might want to give it a glancey-antsy. Just saying. Just some stuff. So anyways, with that being said, how's it been? How have you been for the last 24? Good stuff. Hopefully, as we are midweek right now. So let's talk real quick. Thank you for coming back. If you've been here before, if you haven't and you're brand new, let's talk about what we do here. We talk about safety in the news and safety. That's kind of what we do in this particular regard to what we talk about in this particular show. We bring in some professional broadcasters. They go through the plethora. Yes, and it is a plethora of things that we get to talk about. And then we'll go through the whole thing. The whole gamut, not damn it, gamut of stuff. And then as we go through the whole aspect, boom. We'll move forward, we'll ponder, we'll look at life and say, yes, this is grand or not. It's kind of really what we do. And then we go all over the place. It's kind of the regard. So our show is a radio show first, followed by a podcast, and then we do some video streaming. So if you want to take a look at the visuals, they're available to look at on different social media platforms. And you can go to safetyfm.com. and click on the section that says Visual Radio. Once you get there, that will change everything for you. Visual Radio is how it goes. So With that being said, why don't we take a look around at what is going on? I'll have my friends from Feature Story News come in, take over, and do their thing. And then we go from there. What do you think? If you're good to go, I'm good to go. And that's the way that life will move forward. So here's the news.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in the UK, I'm John Beaver. Victims of Jeffrey Epstein have welcomed the US Congress passing legislation to force the release of more files about the late sex offender. President Trump says he'll sign the bill into law as soon as he receives it. His name has been referenced in some files, and he long opposed their release, but has denied any wrongdoing. Dave Leventhal's a political journalist based in Washington, D.C. He says the president's position has shifted, but questions remain about what will be made public.
Donald Trump was absolutely against this until he was for it, and he became for it when he realized that his own party had turned on him as far as the Epstein files were concerned, and that he was going to lose. Now the question then becomes, are there going to be redactions? Is anything going to be withheld? What exactly is this going to look like in reality? It's worth noting here that Donald Trump at any point in this process could have unilaterally released the Epstein files. He has that power as president.
Bangladesh's National Security Advisor is in New Delhi to attend a 2-day security conclave. His visit, a rare one involving a senior ranking official representing the Bangladeshi interim government, comes as New Delhi is yet to confirm what it plans to do with Bangladesh's request to extradite Sheikh Hasina. The former Prime Minister is living in exile in Delhi and was sentenced to death by a special Dhaka tribunal earlier in the week. Neha Punia reports.
Bangladesh's National Security Advisor Khalilur Rahman is expected to meet with his Indian counterpart Ajit Doval in New Delhi. The visit comes just days after Bangladesh shared a press release asking New Delhi to hand over Sheikh Hasina. India has not officially commented on that, but experts say the issue of extraditing Hasina could come up in the meeting between the two NSAs. Experts say India is still waiting on Bangladesh to send a formal request to initiate extradition proceedings and is mulling when that happens, what its next step could be. There are clauses in a bilateral extradition treaty signed between the two countries in 2013 that allow for a request like this to be turned down, including aspects linked to whether or not a case is political in nature or not, fair treatment of the person being extradited.
The UK lacks a plan to defend itself from a military attack. That's the assessment of a group of MPs in a highly critical report into the current state of the UK armed forces. The Commons Defence Committee says efforts to modernise the military are happening at a glacial pace, and it's also worried Britain can't meet its NATO obligations. Tan Desi is the committee's chair.
We found that decision-making is slow, is sluggish, it's opaque, despite the government repeatedly saying that we're in an era of new threat.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, as insane amounts of money flood into artificial intelligence projects and new startups, is the stock market flirting with an AI bubble that may soon burst? There are certainly indications that is possible, with AI companies having to raise massive amounts of money now in order to pay for the server farms, supercomputers and power consumption that they hope will yield rise to payoffs later. But in the event that the AI craze proves to be a financial bubble, Michael Taylor, a UK trader and influencer and presenter of the podcast Shifting Shares, thinks there is a chance that the bubble will burst.
80% of the gains this year have come from AI stocks. And the average person, if they've got a pension and that AI bubble falls, there will be a big reduction in people's pensions, and that makes them feel poorer. And so they spend less. 10% of the highest earners in the US make up 50% of consumer spending. So if we see an AI bubble pop, you're going to have that 10% feel poor.
So there is no doubt that a stock market downturn is possible and that it would have ripple effects that are felt all over the world. But AI companies are more bullish, saying that they will recoup massive dividends on their expenditures just as soon as their business models become fully developed. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, victims of Jeffrey Epstein have welcomed the US Congress passing legislation to force the release of more files about the late sex offender. With Bangladesh's National Security Advisor in New Delhi, India is yet to confirm what it plans to do about the request to extradite the exiled former Prime Minister who was sentenced to death earlier this week. And the UK lacks a plan to defend itself from a military attack. That's the assessment of a group of MPs in a highly critical report into the current state of the UK armed forces. That's the latest feature story news. John Beaver reporting.
Listen to our host
of the Rated R Safety Show.
self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
I know you all want to hit your revenue targets and get the launch done. Well, making sure that your team knows what to do and how to do it is a huge part of it. So I'm sure that you all do different kinds of training, and I'm willing to bet that you probably use PowerPoint, Zoom, etc. I also bet that when you get someone droning on about a topic using these tools, you probably zone out. And your team does too. I mean, it is a reality of what happens. That's why I strongly recommend a tool called Articulate 360. That makes it so easy to whip together interactive, really beautiful e-learnings that really engages people and gets info across. You can create short-form micro-learning, super interactive courses, and really whatever you need when you're in their site. Then with a couple of clicks, you can send it out and check on it and see the progress of your team. Your team can also check back on the training anytime they want in a super simple portal. Literally everyone uses Articulate. Over 120,000 companies and all 100 Fortune 100 companies. Check it out at articulate.com/360 to start a free trial. That's articulate.com/360 to start your free trial. And don't forget to tell them that I was the one that sent you there.
This isn't a safety manual. It's a transmission. Jay Allen, PhD, host of the Rated R Safety Show and founder of Safety FM, has spent years pulling back the curtain on the systems we work in and the ones we don't talk about. What started as a fatal crash on the 405 became a search for truth. Through behavior-based safety, human and organizational performance, simulation theory, and everything in between. Safety, in my opinion, is raw, reflective, and real. From burnout to breakthroughs, from the matrix to the moment someone says, "This doesn't feel right." This book doesn't give you answers. It hands you the signal. Safety, in my opinion. Available now, wherever books and audiobooks are found.
Well, they say picky people pick Peter Pan peanut butter. We say picky people pick this radio show.
We are radio. We are sarcasm. We are both combined. Radio Big.
Oh, yes, we are something, that is for sure, as we are talking, hanging out, and doing our thing. So let's start getting into some of the stuff that's going on inside of the cycle of events that we have going on inside of the world. Anyway, take a listen to this. Man powers home for 8 years using 1,000 laptop batteries. A DIY genius named Glubux, started a simple project 9 years ago, collecting old laptop batteries and hooking them into a solar panel to power his home. What began as a forum post turned into a massive sustainability achievement. He originally had 1.4 kilowatts of solar on his roof, and then he reclaimed the forklift battery and the Victron setup, plus 650 laptop batteries, and he planned to repurpose. Fast forward, he collected over 1,000 used laptop batteries, built custom racks, created warehouse-sized power stations after recognizing or reorganizing at the same time too the individual cells to discharge evenly. His systems had run 8 straight years without a single battery failure, which is unheard of a DIY build. His energy storage jumped from 7 kilowatts to 56 kilowatt hours, proving that homemade systems can be clean, efficient, and brilliant way to cut down on electric waste. So some stuff to think about. So are you going to do it yourself type of thing going forward? He built the DIY power station. Meanwhile, some of us can't even assemble an IKEA furniture without emotional damage. So I don't know. It is definitely some things to think about as we are going into it.
You're being infiltrated. Radio Big.
Okay, so let's start talking real quick about some things that are going on inside of the world. A Swedish dad named Martin, 42, broke a Guinness World Record by stuffing 81 matches into his nostrils. Yes, on purpose. His kids were obsessed with the Guinness book and told him that it would be so cool if he had a record. At first, he didn't think that it was good enough at anything to break a world record, but after browsing through the list, he found a target. Most matches in the nose. Previously was held instead about 68 matches in total. Martin realized that he had 2 natural talents: flexible nostrils and superhuman ability to ignore pain. He practiced because for every 3 matches he inserted, 1 or 2 would fall out. Though through trial and error, he found that match stuffing technique that ultimately hit 81, officially taking the record. He says that he did it to be the dad that his children could be proud of. And honestly, mission accomplished. Those kids have the most chaotic show and tell story in Europe right now. So this is what happens when you look at the Guinness book and think, yep, I can top that. 81 matches. I mean, that's a shitload of matches when it's all said and done, when we are talking about it. I guess let's get into a little bit more serious stuff for just a moment. Judge rules Meta keeps WhatsApp, Instagram, and antitrust trial. A federal judge has handed Meta a major win. The company that gets to keep Instagram and WhatsApp and the FTC antitrust case against the basically collapsed. Judge James Bosenberg ruled that the Federal Trade Commission failed to prove that Meta's current holds monopoly power in social media, a requirement that the government to force a breakup. Even if Meta was dominant in the past, the judge said that FTC didn't show it until still is now. This is the second time Bosenberg has toasted the FTC arguments. Back in 2021, he dismissed the first version ever for lack of evidence. The agency refiled with more details, citing data comparisons that Meta allegedly buy or bury strategy, not buy strategy, arguing that Meta overpaid for Instagram in 2012 and WhatsApp in 2014 to eliminate rivals. Still wasn't enough. So there you go. Some stuff going on there for sure. What else do we got there? Okay, federal judge strikes down Texas redistricting backup by Trump. A federal court just told Texas throw out the newly redrawn congressional maps for 2026 election, ruling the GOP-backed lines were an illegal racial gerrymander. The 2-1 decision from the 3 judges in the federal panel delivers a major blow to Republicans who engineered an unusual mid-decade redistricting to protect their razor-thin majority in the U.S. House. The president's publicly pushed Texas lawmakers to approve the new map, hoping that they would shore up the party's position in Washington. Democrats tried to block the move and fleeing the state to break the quorum. The maps passed anyways. Now the court has shut the whole thing down, and Democrats like state reps Jin Wu, who helped lead the quorum, are celebrating the ruling online, because I mean, where else would you celebrate stuff? So there you go. What else do we got? Mexico president shut down the idea that the U.S. military strikes on drug cartels inside of Mexico, responding directly to the president's recent comments. Trump said he'd be okay with launching strikes to stop fentanyl trafficking, and claimed that he'd be proud to do whatever it takes to save Americans' lives. The president of Mexico is not going to happen. Trump's stance comes as the U.S. has already carried out more than 20 airstrikes in the Caribbean and East Pacific since September, killing about 83 people on boats. U.S. claims that they're ferrying drugs, though Washington hasn't released any evidence backing those claims. The president also wouldn't rule out the troops on the ground in Venezuela, saying that he plans to talk to Nicolas Maduro, but that nothing is off the table. Maduro responded by saying that he's ready to do the face-to-face discussion with anyone from the U.S. Meanwhile, U.S. Marines are running training exercise in Trinidad and Tobago, and the island's prime minister, who's friendly with Trump, said that the U.S. has never asked to use their territory for attack on Venezuela, and that they won't participate in anything that harms Venezuelans. So, a lot of stuff going on as we are talking. Okay. So this one, you might want to hear a little bit of. The House voted 427-1 to pass the Epstein Files Transparency Act, pushing for the potential release of tens of thousands of documents tied to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. The only no vote came from Rep. Clay Higgins, who argued the bill trashes centuries of criminal justice norms and could expose innocent people, witnesses, alibi provided family members to public harm. He said that he'd support only if the Senate adds stronger privacy protections. The bill now heads to the Senate, where Majority Leader John Thune must decide when to bring it into the vote. Senate Democrats, including Chuck Schumer, say that they'll move on it quickly. The president absolutely has authority to release the files himself and has repeatedly promised transparency, but his recent pivot and bringing the to Bram Bondi signals possible delays. He had strongly opposed releasing the files, calling the effort a Democratic hoax, until the weekend when he abruptly reversed the course after realizing that many Republicans plan to defy him on the vote. Victims of Epstein's watch from the gallery on the House approved the measures. Lawmakers across both parties called immediate release, including Rep. Jamie Raskin, who publicly urged the president to open the files now. So there you go. Some stuff to talk about for sure as we are hanging out. Duh. What else do we got for you? The Trump administration is rolling out a $1 billion Department of Energy loan to jumpstart the long-shuttered 3 Mile Island Unit 1 reactor in Pennsylvania, the same site known for the 1979 nuclear incident. Though this unit wasn't the one involved, the plant closed back in 2019 but was never fully dismantled. The funding goes in Constellation Energy, which says the loan will slash facing costs and attract private investment as they push to bring the 835 megawatt reactor back online. Once running, it's expected to generate enough power for around 800,000 homes across the PJM grid, covering much of mid-Atlantic. This move fits the president's broader push to supercharge the U.S. nuclear production and hit the goal of American energy independence. See, Let's see. Earlier this year, he signed multiple executive orders to fast-track nuclear development. So I guess we are finally on the move of what needs to be done is what it's sounding like. So for sure, we got to move to the city. No doubt about that as we are talking. So let's talk about this. I have to share some stuff with you because as I do research for this show, I look at all kinds of weird stuff when it's all said and done. And a new report from NordPass highlights the weakest and most commonly used passwords, revealing that many people are still using easily hackable credentials. So let's talk about it. 10 to 1, 1 to 10. So starting off at number 10, password, capital P, and then the number 1. Number 9 was gmail.12345. And number 8 was 12345678910. And number 7 was password. And number 6 was 12345. And number 5 was 123456789. And number 4 was 123456778. And number 3 was 123456. And then here's number 2. At number 7, it was password with a capital P. At number 2 is password all lowercase. And the number 1 most common password in the U.S. today, are you ready for this? It's admin. All lowercase. Admin. I mean, I would say the uncrackable one. Admin is the way that it goes. So there you go. Some stuff to think about as we are talking. I mean, I don't know. That just gets kind of weird when it's all said and done. So there you go. Okay, so as we have been talking about this the whole week, I guess we should continue talking a little bit more about what's going on. America is in deep in its annual holiday food feud. Apple pie versus pumpkin pie. Apple dominates most of the year. People riot if it's missing, but when Thanksgiving rolls around, pumpkin storms, it's like running for office and wins by a landslide. The Hoosier Mama Pie Company in Chicago pumpkin outsells Apple nearly 2 to 1 during the holidays. National polls agree that pumpkin is the people's champ in November. Instacart data shows the demand of pumpkin pie explodes by 2,600%. The day before Thanksgiving, nothing else comes even close. The South leans towards sweet potato and pecan pies. So there you go. Some Midwestern pockets crave French silk, and in Illinois, pumpkin pumps out about 90% of America's canned pumpkins, and the Chicagoans basically consider pumpkin pie a local celebrity. Chefs say the pumpkin power comes from nostalgia, even folks who say that the texture still insists that it's not Thanksgiving without it. Meanwhile, diehard pumpkin fans will hunt down pumpkin treats in July. Bakeries are remixing classic with matchups like pecan pumpkin hybrids, pumpkin cheesecake, caramel apple pies, and even pumpkin apple fusion pies. If you're baking at home, the pros say bake your crust right. Keep the pumpkin, where it needs to be. Apples, if you're doing the apple side, apple soft, a little bit bite, and cool pumpkin slowly avoid the cracks. And if you do crack it, just cover it with whipped cream. And there's lies the rest for us. So there you go. The day before Thanksgiving, pumpkin pie sells like Taylor Swift's tickets, is what it definitely sounds like to me. So there you go. Some stuff to think about as we are talking. So let's talk about this real quick because there's some other stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse. A financial survey found that 1 in 4 couple hides a credit card from their partner. Reasons range from I'm saving to surprise to I like shopping without judgment. So what do you think? I think it's kind of weird. I mean, if you're with somebody and it's a serious relationship, you would think that they would, disclose those things with you. It'd be kind of weird if you found that out later on.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, take a listen to this one. Men fall asleep in 10 minutes. Women take about 21. Why? Because men have one thought. Women have 71 running simultaneously. What do you think about this? Do you think that it's hogwash or do you think that it's spot on? Sounds a little hogwashy to me. Maybe it's the normal dude that's able to do that in 10 minutes. I can lay in bed for hours and not fall asleep. But then again, I'm pretty sure that it has to do with some of the weirdness that's in my brain that probably plays a big factor into the whole thing. Okay, so take a listen to this one. A new study says that Viagra, yes, I did say Viagra, might do more to keep men up. Yep. keep this in mind. It might actually help people hear better. Scientists found that the certain inherited form of deafness caused by mutation in the CPD gene could be improved with 2 treatments: an arginine supplement and sildenafil. The active ingredients in Viagra. The CPD gene normally helps maintain the arginine levels and create nitric oxide, which helps ear hair cells send sound signals. And when the system fails, hearing goes with it. By boosting the nitric oxide, Viagra helped fruit flies with the gene mutation recovery some hearing. So yes, the little blue pill may be giving a whole new meaning. Can you hear me now? Now, think about that for a moment. There's too many jokes right there. Side effects now include hearing things that you successfully ignored for years. So there you go. Could you imagine that? Just imagine that for a moment. All of a sudden, well, let's just use the older parent thing for a moment, because that might be easier. Hey, my parents are now starting to take some Viagra because they have heard that it makes them hear better when it's all said and done.
Rated R Safety Show. Sarcastic? Never.
Okay, so there you go. Some stuff to talk about, no doubt about that. I know, it gets so weird sometimes as we start going down the multiverse of things. I never know what exactly to do when it's all said and done. It's just one of those weird things. Anyways, take a listen to this. When a female reporter asked President Trump a question about the Epstein files, Trump called her a piggy. I'm not joking. Take a listen.
We dictated a couple of memos to himself to bring. You're going to find out what did he know with respect to Bill Clinton, with respect to the head of Harvard, with respect to all of those people that are going to buy J.P. Morgan shares. Yeah, Jennifer, go ahead.
In the file,
Quiet, Miguel.
Okay. I don't even understand why that would be the occurrence there, but hey, what do I know? I'm just the guy behind a microphone.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
No, seriously, I'm just a dude behind a microphone.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, sometimes I get to sit back and hang out and start talking about some stuff that is going on inside of the world of the multiverse. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy a good chunk of the stuff that you and I get to do together. No doubt about that. And it is interesting from time to time, the people that I get to sit with, the people I get to talk to, the people that I get to interview. And listen, don't get me wrong. It is amazing just to be able to go in, talk to some of these people and go, hey, we did a recording. Let's talk about it because the time is now. It's a good time. I'm not going to say that it's not. But here is where I have difficulty. Sometimes I have some strange things that occur inside of my brain as I go through some of the process. And I will tell you, I have been able to hang out with some of these people that teach different variations of safety. And I'm talking from some of the highest offices in the land to some of the people around the world that are very well known for teaching some aspects of safety. It's kind of cool to be able to go to some of these things. And don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here trying to go, ha, 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 I get to go to. No, that's not what I'm saying. But here's what I'm trying to tell you. It's interesting sometimes to take a look around on the things that happen behind the scenes. Not always in front of the camera, not always in front of the microphone, but sometimes some things happen behind the scenes that you wouldn't expect. And what always mesmerizes me is we'll talk about the character. And let's be realistic. You're going to say, well, you're talking about metaphors and you're talking about people in other places. No, this happens on a day-to-day basis inside of the workplace. And when I'm talking about characters here for a moment, bear with me as I try to explain this. You are aware that most people respond differently depending on what's going on in their life, depending on who's around. I'm being realistic here. You look at it, and even if you think about it for a moment, I'm not saying anyone's a bad person. I'm just having the conversation here to understand exactly how this works. you are aware that there is a person that you show the world, and there is a person that you are when no one else is around. And I'm not saying that both people or that person can't be both people, because they are. But you do act differently depending on the environment. And sometimes that happens in workplaces. And I'm talking about you will get a variation of a person from who they actually are to a character of who they are. And the odd part is, or interesting part, I should say, is that I get to see that in the situations that I get put into as well. And recently, I was interacting with someone, and it was amazing to me just to sit back for a moment. And I have heard them talk about different things in life. But when they were personally involved with processes, it was easy for them to push blame on the people that they were interacting with. Even though I have heard this small cohort of people not do that when they teach, not do that when they present, not do that when they talk in a public forum. But from behind the scenes, and it was one person influencing the other mostly, you could see this. And I wasn't sure at that particular point in my life if the person that we get to see in the public forums, if that was the caricature or if that was the real person. And don't get me wrong here. It's not that I'm saying that people can't fall back into default modes by not thinking on what's going on. But the bullshit of them trying to pass blame onto other people when they're heavily being influenced by someone else, it's mind-boggling to me. And I say this from the standpoint as follows. Sometimes we have to take a look at the world around and always put it through that one lens that we discuss. It's that lens of what is the person doing, and the lens goes like this. Your principles are your principles. Your principles do not change based on who's around. Now, if you're truly the person that you claim that you are, you will always look at that through those principle lens. Or even if you notice that you screwed up, there'll be that refinement piece. And you go, hey, I screwed up. Let's correct this and move forward. Never, and I mean never, does passing blame make sense, especially if you're teaching this from a standpoint or speaking on this in a public sector and go, I teach it, but I sure as shit don't believe it.
Oops, what did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly. Less than $2 a month and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all three books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
You ever hit the wall, burnout, stressed, or just feeling that everything is piling up and thought, yeah, I probably need to talk to someone? The problem is finding the therapist who actually takes your insurance feels impossible at times. That's where Rula comes in. Rula is a healthcare company that makes mental health care easy to access and actually affordable. They partner with over 100 insurance plans, so the average copay is about $15 a session, sometimes even less. With Rula, you get matched with the right therapist for you, not just whoever's available. Their network has over 15,000 licensed professionals, and you can book an appointment as soon as tomorrow. No wait list, no frustrations, just therapy that works with your schedule and your insurance. Thousands of people are already using Rula to get affordable, high-quality therapy that actually covered by insurance. Visit rula.com/safetyfm to get started. After you sign up, you'll be asked how you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know that we sent you there. That's rula.com/safetyfm. You deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget. Go to rula.com/safetyfm right now to get started. That's rula.com/safetyfm, because you deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget. If you're anything like me, you have certain tendencies to put things off, such as filing taxes, seeing the doctor, working on that home improvement project that you're supposed to be doing, but you just haven't gotten to it. And while most of the times it works out, the one thing in life that you really cannot afford to wait on is setting up term coverage life insurance. You've probably seen life insurance commercials on TV and thought, yeah, I'll look into it later. Well, the answer is no. This isn't something that you can wait for. Choose life insurance through Ladder today. Ladder is 100% digitals, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork. When you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, just answer a few questions about your health in an application. Ladder's customers rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and they've made Forbes' Best Life Insurance in 2021's list. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithm works in real time, so you'll find out if you're instantly approved. No hidden fees, cancel anytime, get full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. Finally, since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladder.com/safetyfm today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/safetyfm. ladderlife.com/safetyfm.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at radiobig.fm.
Who's smart enough to build the planets? Cause I'm smart enough to know there's a snake in the apple. I'm the smartest people here. They know it's a fake world. Fake world. You thought you were a fake world. Fake world. Fake world. It's like I'm stuck inside a video game and it's on repeat. It's like I just fell asleep and I'm stuck inside a dream.
Okay, here we go. 45 minutes past the top of the hour.
Better off asleep when you finally wake up.
Oh, yeah, a little simulated world action coming your way. This is still the Rated R Safety Show, as we are hanging out on this lovely Whip 'em Out Wednesday.
When you finally wake up,
yep, it's a fake world.
You're just in another dream. When you finally wake up.
You see, this is a problem. I get into music, then I don't want to stop it. Here we go.
You finally wake up.
See, and then it has that techno industrial feel to it. I mean, I know. It's a fake world.
It's a fake world.
Okay, a lot of time going on inside of the world of the multiverse, no doubt about that. Let's continue talking about some of the stuff that is going on inside of here. Let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. We want you to know that people have been where you are now, and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com, and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, there'll be all kinds of information for you related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com, To Write Love on Her Arms. So there you go, TWLOHA.com. No doubt about that. Anyways, let's continue talking about some stuff that is going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that is the stuff that we do. And let's talk about some stuff that I've learned from movies.
It's time for things I've learned from movies.
My new life is nothing like the one I pictured. It's better. Things don't always go as planned, of course. Unless, well, you plan for them.
And that's it for things I've learned from movies.
Yep, so things don't go as planned unless you plan for them. I guess that's something that we needed to learn at some particular point in our life, so there you go. A lot of stuff always going on as we are talking about some of the stuff that is going on inside of the multiverse, because that is what we do around here, no doubt about that. So let's continue talking, because there's always news stories, there's always things to talk about, and there is always things for, for people to do. So take a listen to this. Yesterday on Live with Kelly and Mark, Kelly Ripa said that there's nothing sexier than people who are good at math. I've never heard that from a woman. So take a listen. What odd things do you find sexy in a guy?
He's quick. He's quick. He's very good at math.
People who are quick, Mark is quick at math. Yeah. People who are quick at math, there is nothing sexier than a person who is good at math.
Oh.
I would figure that, if you had a crush on a math teacher, that would be something that you would say. But outside of that, I'm not very sure on where this is coming from. So there you go. Take a listen to this real quick. This message was sent to the morning show. So take a listen to this. Good morning. So I thought my coworker was flirting with me, so I left a cute note on his desk asking if he wanted to get a drink sometime. Turns out he wasn't even there that day. His boss found the note and thought that it was for him. Now everyone's acting weird. Do I confess or pretend that it never happened? Fake my own disappearance. The lady's name was Julie. And what do you think people should do? Go to callinradio.com, leave some messages there, and let me know exactly what you think, because it's definitely a weird one. I don't know. What do you think about flirting inside of the office? Does it make sense to do or not? I'm kind of in a mixed feeling. It's a mixed bag when it comes to that. Maybe we can have that conversation at a different point. Let's bring in somebody that can get us the world back straight for us. Here's some John Smaltz coming your way.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by Georgia. Oprah Winfrey said, "Passion is energy. Feel the power that comes from focusing on what excites you." Yes, passion is amazing. I learned at a very young age that I could follow my passion and make a living doing it. I've been blessed to work in the media now for almost 35 years. I've been a broadcaster for over 30 years. I found out that I could do this right here. I could talk to people and make a living doing it. No, I'm not a billionaire, but that's okay. I don't need to be a billionaire. I'm absolutely, positively happy doing what I'm doing. And I've been able to do this now for a long time. God willing, I'll be doing this forever.
The Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Here is the news on the Radio R Safety Show.
Aid trucks rolled into northern Gaza under a fragile 24-hour truce brokered by mediators, delivering food and medicine to starving families after months of blockade that sparked global outrage over the humanitarian crisis.
But the pause shattered just after dusk when rockets flew from both sides, reigniting clashes that killed at least 15 people overnight. Hamas officials accused Israel of violating terms by advancing troops, while Israeli commanders pointed to militant violations as justification. Chris Anderson reporting.
European Union foreign ministers gathered in Brussels for emergency talks on the worsening energy crunch as soaring gas prices threat blackouts and factory shutdowns across the continent heading into the holiday season.
Germany announced plans to ration industrial power use, while France pushed for accelerated nuclear restarts to ease the strain on grids battered by sanctions on Russian supplies. Leaders also debated fresh windfall taxes on energy giants profiting from the chaos. Benjamin Wright reporting.
Russian forces pushed deeper into eastern Ukraine yesterday, seizing a strategic village near Donetsk after weeks of fierce fighting that has left dozens dead and displaced thousands more along the volatile front lines.
Ukrainian troops mounted a desperate counterattack with drone strikes and artillery barrages, but they couldn't halt the advance amid reports of low ammunition supplies. International leaders at UN condemned the escalation and pledged fresh military aid packages to Kyiv. Joseph Eckerson reporting.
President Trump issued a sweeping executive order tightening border controls, directing federal agents to expedite deportations of undocumented immigrants convicted of minor offenses in a move hailed by supporters but decried by rights groups.
The policy targets over 500,000 individuals, aiming to clear backlogs in immigration courts strained since the pandemic. Critics argue it risks family separations and due process violations, vowing legal challenges in federal courts. Lawrence Keller reporting.
Flames from the massive creek fire tore through California's Sierra Nevada foothills Sunday night, forcing the evacuation of more than 10,000 residents and destroying dozens of homes in a blaze fueled by dry winds and drought.
Firefighters battled steep terrain with air tankers dropping retardant, but containment efforts lagged at just 15% as of dawn. Officials linked the inferno to a downed power line, launching investigations into utility negligence. Kyle Norris reporting.
FBI agents busted a sprawling cyber fraud ring in Miami, arresting 12 suspects accused of hacking bank accounts and siphoning millions from unsuspecting Americans through sophisticated phishing schemes that preyed on elderly victims.
The operation recovered stolen crypto wallets worth over $5 million and seized servers hosting malware from overseas hideouts. Prosecutors revealed the group laundered funds via dark web markets, evading detection for 2 years. Kevin Sanders reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
What do guys like besides pizza and morning sex?
Jay Allen in the morning.
It's
so bizarre and unnatural.
It's all good on Radio Big.
Okay, so let's continue talking as we are 54 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's take a look at some things that happened back on this date. Back in 2014, Mike Nichols died. He was a director. Also, back in 1999, John Carpenter became the first contestant to win $1 million on the game show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Yep, that happened back on this date in 1999 and 2014. Okay, let's talk about some things that you ought to know. Take a listen to this one. A Tennessee judge has blocked deployment of the state's National Guard to Memphis, ruling the government Bill Lee acted beyond his authority in authorizing the guardsmen to patrol the city streets. The power committed to the government as the commander-in-chief of the Army and militia is not unfettered. Davidson County Chancellor Patricia Head Moscow said this on her ruling on Monday. Also, tonight's Powerball jackpot will be for $593 million. Also, here is last night's winning Mega Million numbers. Jackpot was $50 million. It was 5, 10, 23, 27, 30, and the Mega Ball was 10. By the way, if you were watching the video aspect of the show yesterday, there was a little slag on what was going on, and we found out why. The internet had a rough morning yesterday after Cloudflare, one of the biggest behind-the-scenes tech hubs on the planet, suffered a major software crash that knocked out a huge chunks of the web online. A faulty file triggered the meltdown, causing Cloudflare called significant outage. Everything from ChatGPT to X, League of Legends, and even the New Jersey transit system went down or lagged out. If your app froze, glitched, or just, stared back at you like a disappointed parent, that's why. Cloudflare apologized publicly, saying, "We let you down today," and confirmed that the engineers patched the issue by the afternoon. But that would be the reason why we had some of our delays yesterday morning. So there you go. Some stuff to talk about right there. Anyways, take a listen to this. Here's a weird fact for you. A jiffy is actually a unit of time, 1/100th of a second. So technically, you can do it in a jiffy. Also, in some other news, today is National Play Monopoly Day. Gather your family and friends together to play it because that is what's happening. So there you go. At the top of the hour, I will be going over to radiobig.fm if you want to come and hang out with me for the next couple hours or so as we are hanging out and talking about the world of music and entertainment. If you do not want to go over there, that is perfectly fine. You can stay over here on Safety FM and hang out with Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. I haven't mentioned it here in a bit, but if you have not held these dates and you are in the Vancouver, Canada area, you might want to hang on to this for just a briefy-eefy. January the 28th and 29th, hop into action coming into Vancouver. You can find out more information at safetyfm.com and go into live events. Go right there. We are holding the date, and I'll explain here why in the near future. Also, if you need some words of wisdom for today, here you go. You can't fix people, but you can fix the amount of time you spend around them. Keep that in mind. And in some other news, if you need some advice for today, on Thanksgiving, have one friend or family member whose job is to tell people to get out of the kitchen. Every cook needs a bouncer. Just letting you know that. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love ya, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.